Okay, greetings. This is the beginning of the 9800 X3D review or installation or playing with. And just wanted to give a quick view of the setup. So this is the workstation. That's actual work. And then this is the PlayStation where we play. And so today, I think I'm going to be leaving this bench alone, and this bench alone. I think what I'll do is, right now this is a 7800 X3D, 5800 X3D. I'm going to change this guy. It's a 10700K, I think. I'm going to swap him out. I'm going to put the new motherboard on here, and I think we have all of the standoffs for a full ATX. So I'm going to do that. That'll be our test bench, at least for today. Although this might be its permanent home because this is the best bench. And I'm going to use an X670E motherboard. And of course, we're going to be testing with the 4090. Although I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to do the craft computing style. I'm probably going to do 1440p because I don't have time for a bunch of resolutions. So that's what I'm probably going to do. Anyway, let's see what happens. All right. So this part of the video is the decommissioning of the 10700F test bench. So we're going to do that. And yeah, just this room here. This room is the D&D room. Oh yeah. So D&D and other role-playing games, but really I only play D&D right now. And you know, the main machine, of course. A little bit of nerdy, stupid decoration. And of course, I'm the Dungeon Master, so that's the world. So this channel is all nerd all the time, so there you go, a little bit of D&D nerd. So let's see what we got here. That looks good. Don't judge me, or go ahead and judge me for how many unpainted minis I have. And let's start decommissioning our little friend here. So the 10700F, I got this during the COVID / Bitcoin crisis, where everything was non-existent. This was a bundle deal with some GPU, so that's how this came to be. And you know, it's a good little machine. I'm gonna end up making like a, well, I don't know, I'll either sell the parts or make a little machine out of it. But the 10 series, I thought it was pretty good. So so this guy worked out. And you know, I've got, it's not the best test bench in the world. The best one is in the other room. But this Sama 1200 watt system with ATX3 power for the 12 volt is great. It's proven itself quiet and reliable, so that's fantastic. And you know, the U12S Noctua is a great little cooler, but that's not what I'm going to be using on the 9800 X3D. And this rattle. Go back to the bench, because DDR4 versus DDR5. So the DDR5, luckily I've got 4 sticks on the current 7800 X3D. I'm going to split those to 2 sticks and 2 sticks. And that's how we're going to do that. So I actually need to see if the T-Force packaging is around. And it is. Okay, 3600. So this is 3600 DDR4. Makes sense. Certainly did its job. Had to diagnose my daughter's Plex playing PC, like HTPC. Sorry, I had to diagnose my son's Plex playing PC because the RAM, the RAM stick had gone bad. So not my first guess usually with that kind of stuff, but wasn't booting, was getting weird errors. Sure enough, took out 2 of the sticks, and then it booted. So it was Expo. I tried to overclock the RAM, and then it was like really flaky. So I put it back to base, because that's one of those kind of machines where it doesn't matter. It's an HD PC. It's all it's doing is playing Plex. Performance does not matter. And what does matter is me not having to go to Montreal or doing over the phone tech support, because it's a 5-hour drive for my son. So there you go. And yeah, so anybody who knows that the pairs of RAM sticks go 2 and 2. So there you go. And look, if you fell asleep on the couch and ended up watching this video, that's what happened there. So thank you, T-Force. You will find a home. You will definitely find a home. So, and okay, to as you can tell, this is a home-built test bench. Just a chunk of wood with these standoffs. I actually ended up buying some good standoffs on Amazon that are quite tall, but these ones seem to work. The screws that go with them are borderline. They're pretty wide, and they do rub the motherboard on the way in, which should be fine. Motherboards should have an exclusion zone around all of these screws, but you know, there you have it. This control panel actually came off of a Tower 100, and you know, the Thermaltake guys, folks, the Thermaltake folks, they're so nice. I was diagnosing problems, and it ended up being the motherboard. But I thought maybe it was the audio cable, but it was an ASRock motherboard where the audio just wasn't working. And they sent one of these for me, you know, no charge. Go ahead. Again, with the Tower 100, they also sent me a new top panel when I broke off one of the tiny tabs. They're just the best. The support I've got from Thermaltake has been fantastic. So, yeah, well, let's see what we got. I guess I will be a victim of Jay's 2 cents marketing and use my iFixit package here for really a screw that's basically your most generic Phillips in the world. Oh no, that's okay. I thought maybe it was the worry with this mount is that you're actually taking the standoff out of the wood. But no, we're okay so far. I'm gonna just anyone that I can. And also the iFixit, it's really not the tool for this job. So while that's really cute, I'm gonna go back. I think almost everybody has like the generic screwdriver, like 2 cents to manufacture probably, and you just end up using it for everything all the time. Okay, and these screws have friction all the way out because of how big they are, like I was saying. So this will be our exciting part for later when I put the ATX, the 670 ATX board on. And fine, but I guess we'll find out. Oh, okay, so with this one, I'm very much twisting the shaft. Also more super generic parts, things I've had for like ever. Oh wow, that is really... Oh wow, okay. I might need vice grips for this. This little guy is not happy. Huh. You know, I guess there always has to be one, right? There always has to be one. It's gonna be a pain. Well, at least it wasn't the middle one. Thank goodness for small favors. I mean, I might have to pause the video. I have to go in the garage and get an actual. Oh, I got it. I was gonna have to go get vice grips, but no, we're good. What I did was just tighten it into the wood until it gripped better, and then when I backed it out, it was then fine. There's different grades of Phillips, and I don't know what their names are, but this is definitely a larger gauge, like a larger type of Phillips than this screwdriver. Anyway, there's no way it'll be in the iFixit box. Come on, here you come. It's really... This is getting to, you know, getting the drill out level. Okay, we've got that. We've got... I taped the power connectors together because they're always the same. USB 3. I hate these connectors. They have so much force. There's so much force on the connector around the edge that you will never know if you're damaging the pins, because the pins are, you know, almost no force compared to the connector. Okay, looking good. You can see the power cables I got routed underneath because these standoffs are nice and tall. Okay, so this is fine. Comes right off, and there we go. And I'm not using a mod mat or anything, but the wood is pretty good for a non-conductive surface. But this little guy, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, those are not ideal, but okay, motherboard out. So we are good there. I really should have taken the should have taken the cooler off the CPU. Okay. What are these guys? PX2, 2 terabytes. So these SSDs are 2 terabyte SSDs. These will probably move onto the 7800 test bench, and then the 4 terabyte NVMe I will probably put on the 9800 test bench. But be that as it may for now. Okay, good enough. Perfect. Okay. Put that over there. Let's get this off. Okay, so Q-firm. So this back plate is part of the 12S cooler. So we will definitely do that next. And I'm gonna have a sip of Van Full of Weirdos Juicy IPA by Refined Fool Brewery here in Toronto, Canada. That's good stuff. It's a nice, thick, bitter IPA. So, I guess, top first. If you saw the workshop, you probably already know that's like the lone Intel CPU. And here's the 12S packaging, so perfect. Okay, very nice. I don't think when you take them off, you have to be as careful. When you put on a CPU cooler, you always go back and forth, you know, maybe kitty corner, depending on how many screws there are, just to try and get an even pressure. Obviously coming off, it doesn't matter, but of course I have it. Okay, I think these are captive. With the old oh, that's nice. With the old AM4s, with the old AM4s and the Noctua coolers, I just always ended up taking the CPU with the cooler. Okay, that's a perfect spread of thermal paste. Yep, looks like a perfect spread of thermal paste. So that was good. I have shop towels in the shop, but this will be fine for now. Go. Yep, this thermal paste hasn't dried out at all. I use Noctua thermal paste so far, although today I am using, I forget what it's called. It's the sheet that transitions, like it's a state transition, solid to liquid. When it warms up. So I'm going to be using that on the 9800 X3D, which is probably fine. Okay, it's looking good. Nice and cleaned up here. There we go. There we go. And it's such a cute little CPU. Look at how little it is. So these little guys were not huge in terms of modern CPU standards, but I don't know. I liked the 10 series. By that point I was all in on, I think this was the same era as the 5800 X3D, wasn't it? And it was just no contest. So I had this around for Intel testing, but never really did much with it. So there we go. Like I said, this little fellow will probably end up being a test bench at some point. Now I swear I brought the box out. Yeah, I know I brought the box out because there's a hole in the shelf where it went, and the box is under the motherboard. So there you go. Apparently, one sip of the Van Full of Weirdos is enough to put you over the edge. So actually, that's not true. That's just age related. I'm gonna leave the CPU in, but I am gonna take the mounting brackets off. Oh, probably take the SSD out. This was the B650 Pro VDH Wi-Fi. MSI? MSI. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And with the LGA sockets, since this is my only Intel chip, there is no reason to take this chip out. I mean, it's not coming out of the socket. It's the only motherboard I have for that, for Intel. So, so it's going to go together. Now, this is always like IKEA here. Trying to figure out how the Noctua packaging goes back together. Pretty sure it goes this way. Oh yeah, we'll go this way. So, and you go. Yep, perfect. I bet the fan goes on here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, oh, but I really need to take off the little clips. I could leave them on. Should I leave them on? You know, okay, this is going to scare me later. When I decide to use this on another build, I'm going to, no, they stick up. I was going to leave them on and then terrify myself that they didn't exist, but that's good. So there we go. Although I suspect, knowing Noctua, there's probably an extra set in there in case you want to do a push-pull. Okay. There we go. In you go. Got a fan. Got a cooler. Basically holding together. Yep. This has been enough times that it's a little bit soft there. And okay. There we go. Oh yeah, there they are. Extra set. Pretty sure this goes in here. Yeah. Yes, no, maybe. No, okay. Okay. Maybe like, oh, maybe like that. Yeah, there we go. And 4 or 5. Got our screws here, our bolts or nuts, and I think that's it. I think that's everybody. Okay, nice cleaned up NH-12S. There we go. Done. Okay, cooler cleaned. So I brought this out, but I actually don't need it because I'm not putting the CPU back in there. There we go. This little guy still has all of his stuff in here, except for the antennas, because they're not rare, but I do use them all over the place. So There we go. And there we go. Motherboard and CPU packaged up. Cut out in the box where the I/O plate goes. I guess that's it for that. Motherboard boxes are notoriously sparse. There we go. Done. Put these guys away. All right. Fantastic. I don't know if my voice is coming through the mic or not, but now it's time for the new guys. There we go. 9800 X3D and a 670. 670 motherboard. Sorry, I'm coming. There we go. Packaging up some stuff here on the shelf. So yeah, 670E, basically the same chipset as the 800 series. So the top of the line 670 should be completely fine. And we're going to get this CPU and cooler on the motherboard. And the cooler I'm going to use is a monster. So eventually it's probably going to go on a 280 NZXT, sorry, cooler, but I've got this passive NH-P1. So this thing is built as a passive cooler, which means it's absolutely massive. Think of a D15 on steroids. So this thing, I'm not going to use it passive. You can mount fans to it, and that's going to give me DH15 type performance, at least in the short term. So that'll be fine. That'll be fine for initial testing. It's already AM5 compatible. So let's go. All right. Okay, ASRock. You know, I normally buy cheaper ASRock products because ASRock is one of the few companies that goes downscale far enough that that it becomes reasonable. But then the quality is questionable. So let's see what we got here. The hardware unboxed they put the Pro RS sort of mid pack, but the price is so much less than all the other guys that it looked like it was a good deal. So mid pack performance should be fine for this motherboard. First time I've opened this. Oh, and this is actually handy because first time I've opened this, so I'll have recorded evidence if I need to show that the pins are bent or something. I can't imagine that they are, but I have had that happen once. Okay, there we go. There we go. It's on a little foam bed, so that's good. I'll deal with you later. Okay, looking good. Oh, they've got a separate Wi-Fi component. Okay, I guess that's smart. They can sell it as two different units that way. We are looking at a motherboard that is zip tied into this foam. But I'm old, so I've got every tool known to man at this point. Sorry, come on. There we go. And that's everybody. It's a nice little motherboard. It's got an excellent heatsink. Nice beefy heatsink all the way around on the. I remember looking up the power 14 phases, I think that's what they call them. We've got our built-in backplate, so that's great. BIOS flashback, because that's probably going to be important, because I can't imagine that this motherboard is going to have the 9800X3D on it, so I'm going to have to deal with a BIOS update before I boot. And that looks like that's that. I didn't take the NVMe out of the other motherboard before I put it away. But we've got this little fellow here. This will get us going. And who is this guy? This guy is it WD Blue? Yeah, it is. WD Blue. From the markings on it, I can't tell. It's fairly old. PCI 3 at best. I don't think it's all the way back to SATA speeds. Actually, let's see. Oh no, 560 megabytes. Holy cow! This is SATA speeds. Maybe not. SATA speeds just seems like too much of a handicap. There's a reason it was marked as HTPC. Okay, we're going to end up putting this on the Intel later. Okay, it turns out I need power to do the BIOS flashback anyway. So the absolute easiest thing to do at this point is just going to be to mount this in the on the test bench, and then test it on the test bench. So there we go. I did this exact way you would think. I put an ATX motherboard on here, measured out, like put dots where the holes were, drilled holes smaller than needed, put a little bit of glue in them, and then these have like a wood coarse thread on one side and then the fine thread on the other side. So this should just mount the same way, but it's going to be bigger, so forgive me while I mess with this a bit. Okay, I've got, oh Jiminy, I should have done this before the cooler, the extra CPU power, but hopefully that'll be okay. And you go there, you go there. You go there, you go Chavez. And you go there. Okay. I am actually missing a standoff right here that could give extra support there, but I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, looking good. I think I'm gonna be able to get those in. So, first off, let's do this guy in the center of the board. And I don't know if these are aluminum or what, but they're not magnetic, so. Okay. And of course, screwing in, you don't have to worry about taking the standoffs out, so that's great. What I do have to worry about is finding the other ones of these. I think I know where they are in the workshop, but of course I had an MATX in here before. So there'll be 2 extra screws that I need. But for now, this will be completely fine. Make sure I'm not cross-threading this little guy. I am definitely cross-threading that little guy. What's happening is I'm coming on an angle with the screwdriver, and that's causing it to want to cross-thread. So you know what I'm going to do? Nothing. I'm going to deal with that later. And for now, I will put you in here. This is way harder when they're not magnetic. Okay. Good enough. Very nice. I mean, in reality, that's good. I've got 2 more of those, so I'll put them in. And remember, these are standoffs in wood done by hand, so the tolerances aren't the same as a computer case that you would buy. I think we're good. Nice and solid. Get our ATX power on there. Get our, is this supplemental? What's this called? Supplemental. Oh, that's the 600 watt, okay. Oh, fiddlesticks. The reason I say that is I routed that underneath, and turns out what I need is the other CPU auxiliary power, and it also means that this, wherever it is, I'm gonna have to fish that out later. For now though, it doesn't matter, because this CPU does come with video out, so there you go. I'm gonna have to go and find the Sama extra CPU power though, so I'll be right back. Okay, that was easy enough. So we've got the Sama box out. I'm sure everybody knows that you never use cables on a modular power supply from one to the other. It has to be rare, but it's not zero, and they don't all use the same pinouts. So you can never do that. And I've heard, I don't know if this is just being extra cautious, I've heard people say you can't even use them from the same brand. Here we go, CPU. So there's my CPU power. So that might be one of those things where it happened once, but still. If it happened once to you, that's enough. I'm going to assume this is the 3.0 power. Oh my god, I am not taking this. I am not taking this motherboard off just to get at the 12-volt connector. Okay. 12-volt high power. Right here. Okay, individual sleeve cables are nice and flexible. For this testing, I'm not going to bother routing this underneath the motherboard. Just go ahead and do this. Turns out there is, in fact, enough space. Not enough light, but there's enough space. There we go. Number one. Actually, we have to do this anyway just to make it fit. There we go. Making me want to get my head-mounted flashlight. Let me see the problem. Well, they are distinct. Okay. Left and right sides on the CPU connector seem to be distinct, so they're not interchangeable. Taking the glasses off is way better. There we go. Okay, click, 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 all in like Flynn. Okay. Again, I could look at the manual, but where's the fun in that? Almost certainly the power reset and LEDs are the same pattern as every other motherboard, so that's probably okay. USB, got USB on the motherboard, that's fine. I don't need audio out, that's fine. So, looking good. We are ready to try. So, I'll be back once we're set up. All right. Well, we are on the test bench and we're basically ready to go. And let's see what we got here. The entire setup here I've got the 3 test benches in a row. I've got wired Ethernet to all of them. This is a KVM that goes up to 165 hertz, 1440. So that's fantastic. And it was the cheapest like KVM I could find on Amazon that would go up to that speed, and it's been okay. There are actually some all NVIDIA cards work fine with it. There are some AMD cards, many AMD cards, most AMD cards that don't, like, they just don't want to switch. They don't want to recognize it. Am I wrong? Is that looks like, oh, that's HDMI. Okay, I need my eyes checked. Oh, I've got, there we go, display port right next to it. So the 9800X3D does have graphics built in, so I don't need a graphics card to test this. However, there's 0 chance this is going to work. Right now the screen is the 5800. So there we go. Now it's the 9800. This is first boot attempt with the 9800. And we're getting a red signal on BIOS. Oh, normally I would use my phone to magnify that. Okay. It's giving me a RAM. It's giving me 2 errors, and I'm 90% sure that's 90% sure that's going to be a BIOS issue. So we're going to go ahead and download the BIOS update. Okay. I won't make you sit through downloading a BIOS update, so let's see what happens. Okay, I decided to take you guys along for the ride on the Flash update anyway, because so I'm making this video, I don't have to watch it. I've got the ASRock website up. I've done a search for the Flash. On the website it shows me how to format a USB, which that's fine, I know how to do that. And then it's got FAT32, which is great. I should already be FAT32. I'm already fat, so hey, I'm FAT58. So in theory, we're going to recognize that USB drive. Come on, little buddy, are you in there? Okay. I think I've got it set to don't do anything. Yeah, there we go. So USB drive. Oh, I've got a video on there. The Private Life of Deer, Amazing Nature. So that's definitely for my daughter Zoe, who loves deer. So I've already put that on Plex for sure. So I can delete that. And we're now going to throw on the BIOS. Okay. Oh. So Instant Flash and Flashback. Instant Flash, I think, is oh, it's just the same BIOS. It's just telling me which way is to do it. So downloaded that zip file. Very nice. Put this on my USB drive. Well, aren't you just slowing down? Come on. Okay. ROM is on the USB. Very nice. So switch the KVM to This fellow, no, I did not set the USB to extract. Should be fine. Now, it's got a, excuse my head here, but I have to see whether there's a certain connection I need to use. Okay, the hint is, again, I could look at the manual, but where's the fun in that? The hint is there's a white box around the flashback, and there's a white box around this USB port. So if the white box means that that's flashback, then in theory, nothing will happen because I don't have the power on. Okay. Flashback's magical, but it's not power off magical. Okay. Okay, you can't see this, but there is a green light solid. At this point, I do have to look at the manual. At this point, there's a green light solid. Maybe I can just go over here, though. So now I'm back on the 5800. Okay. Okay, flashback, extract. Oh. Creative.rom. Oh, okay. Okay. So that's not, that should be blinking. I need to rename it to creative.rom. Okay. KVM is gold, man. It's the ability to switch between 2 or more computers. I mean, I've used KVMs in server rooms like forever, so that's awesome. But yeah, no, come on. There we go. Come on, wake up. Okay, it's not reading the speed drive. Remember, I wonder if it was foreshadowing earlier when I said I didn't eject it. Oh, come on. Well, when in doubt, use a different USB port. Okay, there we go. I wonder why Creative is the name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Rename to Creative. Yay. Okay, this time I will eject it. If you're going to give me that kind of grief, eject. Okay, safe remove on there. Look, you're hot swappable or you're not. That's just my philosophy. Okay, so still not looking at the manual. I'm going to put it in here with the white box. Turn on power. LEDs, because LEDs. And okay. Now this time, this time I have a blinking green light. So okay. Wait until the LED stops blinking. If the light turns solid green, means the BIOS flashback is not operating. Yeah, that's what happened last time. Yep, we're blinking away. Now, this can take a couple minutes, so I won't make you sit through that. Okay, that literally took, is that moving around? I think it'll stop. That literally took 6 minutes. So 6 minutes later, the flashing has stopped on there. I can take the USB out and let's see what we get. Okay. Still getting the two red signals, LEDs on the motherboard. But we shall see. Oh, no, we've got a change now. Yep, the LEDs are going back and forth a bit. VGA, DRAM, they're all off. I've got a underscore character, which usually means it's looking at its BIOS. But let's see if it loads up the UEFI. I've got the drive going crazy. Yeah, we're gonna give it a second to see if that UEFI comes up. Okay, underscore character's gone. Monitor is cycling. Nope, no signal now. There we go, ASRock. That is what I'm looking for. Oh, is it gonna boot right into Windows? I don't think it's going into BIOS. I think it's going right into Windows. Yeah, it's okay. So this is the 10700F install. I've got video coming out of the motherboard because of the integrated graphics. I've got a booted machine. Intel Auto Driver is asking me if I want to install things. No thanks. Yeah, this is going to take some cleanup. I'm going to need to do a Windows reset to get this back up to speed, but we are good to go. We are good to go on our 9800X3D. I'm not going to do a benchmark until I've redone Windows, and I'm not going to make you sit through that. So, be back in a sec. Okay, we've got Windows reinstalled, although it forgot my license key. So I use those sort of one-off license keys that are hard-coded. So I'll have to buy another one, but that's fine. So here we are, Cinebench R23. Still just using the passive heatsink, NH-P1. So yeah, I'll go ahead and see what happens with a full Cinebench. Multi-core? Yeah, start. Okay, 10 minutes of multi-core Cinebench. We will see what we get. Although, yeah, I won't keep the video rolling for that.